Hello! I wanted to show you guys how I teach my young horses how to tie. This is Pepper. She is a 2-year-old quarter horse. She just turned 2 and got her off a cattle farm in Texas, and she basically was untouched. She had never been touched. She was just thrown out into a pasture for the first 2 years of her life. Then I got her, had to halter break her, teach her how to lead, and now I'm teaching her how to tie. When I teach my horses how to tie, if I don't already have an enclosed area, I'll make an enclosed area and tie them to something that they're not going to be able to rip down. So you can see I have the telephone pole, and I'll use that. I'll put in a ring, one of those metal rings, onto the telephone pole, and I'll tie the horse up short. This is really important because you don't want your horse to go underneath the lead rope and get their head twisted, and then you'll have a big mess on your hand. So don't tie them with a bunch of slack. Tie them up short, so they can still be comfortable, but short enough that they're not going to get their head underneath and get twisted up in there. And then so I'll put them in an enclosed area. That way, if something happens and the ring rips out or the halter comes out, something of that effect, the horse will still be contained. Especially important for these young ones, if they haven't been handled very much, whatnot. Have them contained and tie them up to something very sturdy that's not going to give, not going to break, not going to be ripped out of the ground. And instead of just wrapping the lead rope around the pole, because it'll slide down, put some sort of a clasp or a metal fitting, little O-ring, as you can see right there on the telephone pole. And this is Pepper's very first time being tied up. I've done some groundwork with her this past week, and I made sure to halter break her and teach her to lead and teach her to trust me first before I did this. I've only had her maybe about 3 weeks, and so I've done all that first, and now I'm starting to teach her how to tie. And she's doing a really good job of her first time being tied. You only want to have them tied the first time for maybe 10-15 minutes. Don't put a hay net up or a grain bucket, because that's not teaching them to tie. It's just teaching them to eat right there. But like I said, you want to do it for maybe 10-15 minutes at the max, and then work yourself, and have it done a little bit more, a little more time, so on and so forth, before you go ahead and tie them up in the barn or to your trailer so they don't rip apart the side of your trailer or whatnot. So I'll do this with her for about a week and keep her tied up here a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer. Hopefully you guys will have as much success as I have had teaching your horse to tie using this method. And if you have any questions, feel free to post a comment.